Hit the like button. All right. Hold on here. You know what? I got to say this, man. I'm going to give this guy a chance. You know, when you're on a golf course and you suck as a golfer, you get a mulligan. And I'm gonna throw a mulligan out to Zander here with his Swiss cheese defense and his offense. I'm gonna give him a shot. Because we gave Angelo a shot after Green Bay, did we not? He says, no, I'm going to hang with 5. Came out yesterday and said, shit, that may be too many. So, without further ado, the man that has been radicalized, according to John McMullen, into being a Sileoized. Damn, you've been Sileoized. That was being told to me today. The co-host of Birds 365, the pregame show, the legendary pregame and postgame show here on JAKIB. Make sure you check out our fabulous network as well. And Aku, thank you very much. We appreciate that. Thank you again, my friend. Zander Krause. All right, kid.
What up, Big Sills?
So what's happening?
Should I say Father Sills?
Holy cow, man. Hey, you know what's really rewarding today? It's to see all the naysayers and the haters and the Seth Joiners of the world. Hey, maybe you were right. I'm like, but this is something you don't want to be right about. You got it wrong. Being right means a shitty team. Nobody wants to cover a shitty team. I don't care what they say. I keep telling people this. Hey, the Eagles losing doesn't help me. It doesn't help us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so I'm going to give you an opportunity here, Junior. I'm going to give you a chance to pull off your 14 wins and to modify that if you so want right now. Are you going to modify?
Did I have 14 wins? Was that me? Does anybody have footage of that? Is that a real prediction that was? I don't recall.
Maybe I heard that. I don't.
Maybe I have CTE from listening to you for 4 years. I don't recall that take. But if you'd like me to modify,
maybe that's kind of how I felt.
Let me see. Let me make the call at the end of the segment.
Okay.
I need to hear what type of Sileoization is done to me today before I make the proclamation on how many wins this football team will have.
I must have radicalized here on the show in the last 4 years at least 2,000 people, including you, Princess. Not that I like you that much, but I know you're boys with Zander, so, you know, we're all right here.
Well, listen, in all seriousness, man, I mean, real Eagle fans don't like watching a game like that because they know, you know, look, the bottom line is, and all jokes aside, you know, it is funny though, 14 wins looking at it right now. Oh boy. But in all seriousness, we need answers for this football team and nobody wants to give it to us right now, including the people that cover this football team up close and personal. You know, John McMullen this morning, me and him got into a little bit debate this morning. Nobody wants it. This team is 2-7 in their last 9 football games. That defense is the 32nd ranked defense right now. We've spent how many first, second, third round draft picks on that line? The cost of tickets is going up. The cost of jerseys is going up. The cost of parking is going up. You have to pay. It's costing more to be a fan of this football team. And we're sold the same sad song that now looks like it could be another disappointing season. Now it's early, but I'm saying for us to sit here and say, oh, we don't deserve answers, or, you know, nobody should ask questions because it's week 2 about the putrid defense, or why our quarterback who was paid to be an elite guy can't be an elite guy. Like, we deserve answers. We're the greatest fans in the history in the whole world when it comes to sports fans. And they're feeding us bullshit. And if we don't like it, they're shoving it down our throats even more. So in a way, truth, justice, and the Big Sills way is right. And it's not because I'm trying to glaze you. It's not because I'm trying to make more people like your show. It's because you viewed this team And you have told me the problems that were wrong with this team all offseason. And the Eagle fan in me wanted me to say so many times, no, they're going to get it together. Hurts is going to do this. The defense is going to be this. It's all coming to fruition early in the year. Hurts doesn't look like he's made progress in the passing game. The defense looks worse than they did a year ago. We're now, as you pointed out, on the third coordinator. I mean, we're not a championship football team. That's the truth right now. Now, we're only 2 weeks in. Maybe they turn it around. Maybe it's early. I get it. But nobody wants to answer for it. Everybody just wants to say, hey, it's all right. It's early. Why are we crazy Philadelphia overreacting? No. We deserve answers for why this team is 2-7 in the last 9 games and stinks out loud. They just got embarrassed on Monday Night Football in front of a national audience, and our defense couldn't stop a nosebleed, and you could drive a tractor trailer through the holes that offensive line was making. We deserve answers. That's all. I stand by that. I think that's true, and people are flocking to the show right now because, in a way, you're the one who's giving them the truth, and people need truth right now.
We started the program out with possibly, the crux of the problem here. And look, do coordinators matter? Does good coaching in the NFL? Of course it does. No question about it. But how many coordinators are you going to go through in 2 years before you start to look at the overall problem on the team? It's the talent on the team. I mean, Howie Roseman addressing that side of the football. Guess what, Zander? If those 2 tackles don't pan out, what has he done defensively, drafting-wise, in the last 3 years that you would go, oh, that's great? Quinyon Mitchell, get this. I believe Quinyon Mitchell will be a very good – I do believe that. Yeah. I believe that.
Although, hey, man, it's early, right? I mean, shit, no. Jalen Carter looked good early too, so let's let it develop. But you're right.
Now look at you. That's the way to work. Get this, Zander. People back in the day had to have takes because they would say people would flip-flop. Well, guess what? When you look at Jalen Carter, have you not flip-flopped a little bit of your mentality on how he's played against the run in the last year and a half?
Dude,
mean, his production causes that, not your fucking take. Him playing. Now, when does the Philadelphia sports media start doing this? The guy who constructed the defense and the personnel on that side, you knew, just like you did with the size, Zander, that he was an inexperienced coordinator like Brian Johnson. You know what Nick does. It's almost the same, but the opposite. 2-eye safety, corners off the ball. You know this. You didn't bring the personnel. You know what you needed? Brian Burns, Patrick Queen, and Xavier McKinney. Guess what you are then? You're in the NFC title game.
It's sad because it's not for lack of investment. You look across
and they got $23 million still in the bank.
When you look across that defense and you see the amount of draft picks that we've spent on that side of the ball. Nolan Smith, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Bryce Huff's a free agent, but $17 million on Bryce Huff, Josh Sweat, Nakobe Dean, CJ Gardner-Johnson we bring back. The whole 9 yards, man. I mean, if these dudes pan out, that we're not having this conversation. So eventually we're going to have to start to have this convo.
They may pan out in 26. Remember what we've been saying?
Oh, yeah. Look, they might. And part of that was what we talked about in the summer, right? Where it's like they're a little bit further behind the offense. But shit, we keep talking about the defense. And look, I'm concerned about the defense. There's no doubt. That defense is what's going to stop us from having a Super Bowl run when you talk about a defense that's 32nd in the pass and can't get after the quarterback. But can I just make a point real quick? We talk about this offense or this defense a lot. Why does this offense skate by no matter what happens? If we look at some of the biggest games in the last couple of years, everybody's mad at the defense. They gave up 22 points on Monday. You couldn't put up you have a $175 million offense. You're not going to score more than 21 points. You go back to last year in a playoff game. We had 9 points versus the Buccaneers. 9. Tell me the defense all we want. You think we're going to win a playoff game in the NFL with 9 points on the board?
It's a great take because you know what they did for 58 minutes? They held the Atlanta Falcons at 15 points.
Every time it matters, though. Every game it matters. The offense is coming up short too. So, yeah, the talent on defense is brutal. They don't look like they're going to get better. Maybe the offense turns it around and has a couple good games. But, when it matters, our offense has struggled in recent months. So, hasn't been good.
It's a great take. Now, do you believe you can play yourself into being a championship contender by the end of the year?
On offense, I think you can because you have the talent. Now, I don't know. My big questions right now are on the quarterback. I mean, you've told me about it. I've continued to say I think he's going to continue to develop and get better and become a better passer. He's not climbing the pocket. He's not getting through his progressions, and he's not throwing the ball over the middle of the field. He is showing he has not yet developed as a passer. Now, has he done some good things this year? Is he running the ball solid? Does he look like he's handling the blitz a little bit better? Yes, those are great things. But he still has blatant problems right now at the quarterback position that are being masked. And by the way, they're masked again on Monday night because everybody keeps saying, oh, Jalen had a great running game. We know Jalen Hurts can run. We need him to be better as a passer. He's not showing that right now. So I got a lot of problems or questions with the offense as well as the defense.
I'm going to make a point, then I'm going to get to Daniel here. Jalen Hurts will never win a Super Bowl without a player like A.J. Brown on the team. With A.J. Brown on the team, I think he can, okay? But he's one of those guys that is not going to be a player that's going to rise above deficiencies in your huddle. If you have deficiency, by the way, I don't believe the guy in San Francisco can either. I don't think that guy in San Francisco can.
Yeah,
well, without McCaffrey.
To your point about him,
got better coaching.
Well, no, but he's a pocket passer.
He's
not.
That's right.
When he makes his money or when he
his
makes
decision making in the pocket,
it comes from the pocket.
Yep,
Jalen's never had that. Now, part of it is not even Jalen's fault because he's such an elite athlete. His entire career as a quarterback, he's been able to rely on that and use that to win games. Now the NFL, in a way, has caught up to him a little bit. You got to evolve. You got to be better. You have all the weapons around you. I mean, people are like, oh, watch the tape. I've watched the All-22. Big Smooth. People posted clips. Big Smooth, go watch the All-22.
I did.
His pocket awareness, it's brutal. We have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, and he doesn't utilize it. He doesn't step up into the pocket and wait and find his receivers. That's what, we talk about the play calling. We're going to have another problem with play calling this year. Is this going to be another one that we blame all on the coordinator? First, it was Nick.
Yes.
Last year was Brian Johnson.
Yes.
Is it going to be Kellen now? Or is the common denominator Jalen, and the play calling doesn't look good because he's limiting what we can do by rolling out of the pocket?
He's constantly. Not a pocket passer. He's not
a pocket passer. So, the fear is that if it's not perfect all season, if you have no injuries all season, then we can win, yes. But if one thing goes wrong, you're back to 21 points and everybody blames the defense.
Look at this.
Need everything to be perfect. It's a problem.
Look at this, how stats can be misleading when you watch a tape. This guy looks at the numbers here and goes like this, and he thinks this guy looks good in the pocket. When you go back and watch all the missed throws he has, the late throws, the overthrows, the interceptions and the turnovers, and that guy will tell you and try to make that look like he's good in the pocket, when all you have to do is use the fucking eyeball test, and you know that guy wins games with his legs, not his arm, and he never will. And I've been saying that for 4 years. You know what made him elite in 22? They hadn't seen it before, and you know what he did? He played like he did on Monday night, and he was exceptional in that Super Bowl like that. But how many Super Bowl games since that game has he played like that? 1? 2? He's not consistent playing at that level like that. You know why, Zander? I don't think those dual-threat quarterbacks can be consistent. Look at 0-2 Lamar Jackson. He's a 2-time MVP.
Yeah, he looks.
Does he play? Does he play consistent ball? No.
You take Lamar out of the running game, they're not beating you. He can't beat you through the air.
He can't beat you through the air.
I do think Jalen's a better passer. I do think Jalen
disagree. I'm right.
Traits. I think he can be that guy. I'm just saying when you're analyzing this team objectively, and you come into the year, and part of my prediction at 14 wins was the assumption that Jalen would have made advances, especially in the Kellen Moore offense, as a more pro-style quarterback to be able to throw the ball, to get through his progressions. Now, he's done good things with the blitz. His blitz numbers have been really good through the first couple of weeks. I think that's positive. So, Maybe this will continue to trend in the right direction, but it's who he is. It continues to be who he is. When the game breaks down, he can win it with his legs, but he struggles to do it through the air. I mean, look at the last play. I said everybody wants to debate the coaching decision. Should he have kicked the field goal? The play call, Saquon dropping it, the defense not stopping Kirk Cousins. The ball was in our quarterback's hands with 27 seconds left in a timeout, 15 yards away from field goal range. That's it. That's all I need to know. I'll take that scenario every Sunday. If we can't win with that scenario, then we do not have an elite quarterback. That's the truth. If you're go say to a Kansas City fan before a season, I'll give you every game this year. You'll have a chance to win because the ball will be in Mahomes' hands at the end. They will take that all day. If we can't take that in Philly because he doesn't get the job done, then we got a problem on offense. Sileo's right that everything must be perfect around him for it to win. And that makes you not elite. Is he good? Yeah. Does he have talent? Of course.
Yeah.
Is he one of the best athletes in the world?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he's a great quarterback.
Hey, Aaron Rodgers is a better athlete. Aaron Rodgers is a better athlete than Tom Brady. To make him better
Prince,
quarterback.
I will say Dallas Goedert struggled to get over. I watched the All-22 in between the two shows today, and I didn't get through all of it. So I'm going to go back to it and finish it up. But that's why I said that about Jalen in the pocket. He just continues to evade that pocket. But Prince, I will say Dallas Goedert. Because I was on Jalen a little bit where it's like, how does A.J. Brown go out and Dallas Goedert has one catch until the last drive of the
He can't get off the line of scrimmage right now for some
Dallas
reason.
Goedert had no separation in that game.
Hey,
He
Prince,
was not getting
that's
no
a great
ball.
observation. I watched that.
And Dotson is. Prince, look, I said that about Dotson before the game.
Does he have an ankle injury or something? He can't get off the line of scrimmage.
Goddard? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He's had a problem.
Get off the line of scrimmage to save his life right now. And dude, Dotson had 25 pass routes. He had how many targets? 7, 6? Had one catch.
See, this is the type of comment that drives me nuts. Shonsky says he wins if Barkley catches the ball. Okay, Shonsky, you're right. All right, let's take that in. You're correct. But if you're going to play coulda, shoulda, woulda, or the if game, we also win if Jalen understands the moment and gets 15 yards in the last 25 seconds with a timeout. You also win if he does that. Our star quarterback had the ball in his hands with a chance to win the game.
And it's Atlanta.
Why is it only on Barkley? Why is it only on the coaches? Why is it only on the defense? In the NFL, elite quarterbacks rise you above bring you up against the odds. They are the difference maker for your team.
They elevate the players around them. Jalen Hurts does not elevate the players around him. I mean, how can he elevate the players around him when his game doesn't get better? And when you take one of those players off the field, his game gets worse. I mean, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith had career years. Hurts had a 15 turnover season in INTs alone. And in the last 19 games, he's had 24 turnovers.
So you could also say that the Eagles agree with this line of thinking more so than them thinking he's elite. I mean, look at how they've stacked the offense. We came into the year. This defense is right now the 32nd ranked defense in the NFL. And right before the year started, Howie made a trade. He didn't make a trade for somebody on defense. He made a trade to add to the $180 million offense. Doesn't that tell you that Howie knows that offense needs to be stacked to the gills to win? You don't see Kansas City. Kansas City's getting rid of guys. They're like, we got to spend more on defense so that we can have a championship roster because we know no matter what happens, Patrick Mahomes is going to take us over the top on offense. We don't have that luxury right now in Philly. We just don't. A.J. Brown goes out and we scored 21 points versus the Falcons. Raheem Morris had a way better game plan for us, and Hurts was forced to beat him with the legs, And to his credit, he did a good job, but I'm looking for progress in the other areas that I've yet to see, and I think it could come back to bite us late in the year.
Do you think Jalen Hurts can lose that locker room not having A.J. Brown on the field if they get worked over again in week 2 by New Orleans?
No, I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to lose the locker room. I think in a
way. How
way.
about losing some confidence in him on being able to carry the football team if things aren't what you just said? Perfect.
Yeah, I think potentially, but I think inside that locker room they do have a respect for Jalen Hurts. I think he's well liked among his teammates for the most part. Now, maybe there will be people who are, Dallas Goedert might be upset with him, right? He doesn't feel like he can get the ball, although Dallas has to do a better job himself. I don't think, though, it'll get to that. I think from a locker room standpoint, they're going to ride for Jalen Hurts because I do think he is a guy that resonates with his people. I really do. I think from that perspective, I don't have worries about Jalen. I think the locker room stands with him, and I think they probably will till the wheels fall
Let
off.
me tell you how far that goes, though.
I think Nick would become the scapegoat much before Jalen would.
Let me tell you how far that goes, though. Okay? You're right. He'll get the latitude because of the respect level they have. But it's going to get to a point where, get this, fuck the respect, dude. Win a game. Help us win. Because you can like somebody all you want. You can respect somebody all you want.
Yeah.
This is a game of production. It's no bell curve in the NFL. Oh, well, I like the guy. He's a really good dude. What's that got to do with anything?
Yeah, it's true.
How many losers are in the league that carry teams like Aaron Rodgers? And how, when you're on the field with Rodgers, I'll tell you what, you're comfortable and you believe that guy. When you're on the field with Aaron Rodgers, again, 40-year-old, a little different, but when you were in his career, in the prime of his career, and he was a 4-time MVP, when he's on the field, whether he's a dick or not, I walk on the field with that guy. That guy may be the biggest asshole in the league, but I'll tell you what, that guy gives me a 90% chance of winning. That has nothing to do with it, actually, in a way. But it does give you the equity to not, because let me tell you something. Here, let's do this. A.J. Brown, not going to be available for New Orleans. They're going down to New Orleans.
Back to term now?
Come on, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
sure.
Come on.
Well, I know that we were supposed to get an update today, and I was
never happened. He ain't
busy
playing.
with some other stuff. I didn't catch all the updates
Not a
from
chance
practice
he's playing.
today. You don't think so? I mean,
I do not. No
yeah,
way.
I mean, look, if
why would they
AJ
give
Brown,
that information out on Wednesday prior to Thursday's release? They're not going to. They probably might even do this probable or questionable tomorrow and then rule them out prior to the game. Because you know what they're going to do? Why would I tell my opponent what's going to be? I'm not going to give them the advantage and not game plan on them for them. So I'm going to go as far as I can, and I'm going to give them the ability to have to game plan. But you go down to New Orleans with Marshawn Lattimore and Jordan and them guys, and that football team, they got a great linebacker. I think his name is Bush. Let me tell you something, man. Dennis Allen, they've scored 45 points a game, Zander, and they've given up only 14, albeit it's Carolina and Dallas, who I don't think are that hot defensive football teams. But I'll tell you this, that's a tough environment to play. I played in a Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, you know who was back at practice today for the Saints?
Who?
Marshawn Lattimore.
He was back?
He was back. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to play, but he was back at practice today. That's a good. If you don't have A.J. Brown and you have Marshawn Lattimore now out there, they got a good defense, the Saints.
Hey, and by the way, look what those two safeties and how tough it was for Jalen to try to throw the ball deep. Get this. People are covering that enough. Bates and Simmons was the reason they didn't have plus 20 plays.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
It's also no A.J. Brown. We didn't have A.J. Brown, and that means Hurts didn't want to push the ball down the field, which is a problem in its own right. But yeah, no, their safety plays elite, which is why I had such a problem with that final play. It was 1st and 10 there. Just clock it. Throw the ball out of play. Go to the next down. Why are you forcing it into Jesse Bates' arm?
If you watch it, I thought he baited him. I thought Bates baited him.
Well, he did. And what I think it was A.J. Terrell who was the other one in coverage. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was A.J. Terrell. But either way, Devontae Smith wasn't really open. So I just don't think people should be given excuses for that. There's so many excuses. Everybody wants to point to – it's football. It's a team game. There's always going to be multiple things that go wrong. How you overcome it is what makes winners. Hurts had a chance to overcome it. All you want to talk about is the other things that went wrong. Well, I want to talk about the $50 million quarterback that had the chance and didn't do it. I think that's completely fair.
It totally is. Now, something Nick Sirianni said today that I thought was weird. You tell me. So he was asked a question by one of the reporters that said, "Hey, Nick, what went into you in that 3rd and 3?" He goes, "Well, I had the analytics department go through scenarios down there. We plugged in a whole different bunch of scenarios the last 2 years and what would be the best formula for us because, This is what we do. We play out scenarios like that on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I'm paraphrasing this. And he says, so we go to the analytics people. He means the owner's kid. And the owner's kid gives him intel from his department because he's ahead of it. Julian Laurie is the head of the analytics department. So they're telling them what plays that would be best to run instead of having a fucking gut feeling on the night Nick Foles was there and Philly was one of the ultimate gut calls in the history of a Super Bowl. And you're trying to tell me analytics superseded anything. Did it also supersede in how Vic ran his defense at the end there, playing that far off the ball? And that was the analytics department. Here's my problem with the Doug Peterson conversation again and what we saw Monday. That football team today, if it's really being run by analytics and what the analytics people do, we found out this from Frank Wright last year. So let me get this right. The analytics give you all the intel on what plays to run when you're going to go situational football. They've got these plays designed that you think that you should run here in this moment, 3rd and 9, minute 34, you run this here. This is what we believe. You're going to run those plays instead of not just doing this? Nah, I'm not doing that. That's why it looks so cookie cutter. It looks so
Sills. Nick answered your question right at today.
He totally answered it.
There's a human feel.
There's no feel to the game.
Like the human would look at that and be like, wait, there's a minute 40 left and they have no timeouts. I don't care what I do with a run. Just run the ball. Right. Just run the ball and don't fumble. That's it. And kill the clock. But the analytics says do this and do this because your percentages are this. And, the team is run by analytics in a way. Look, it's not just an Eagle problem, though.
No.
It's all of sport. It's baseball. It's every sport.
Totally in football, too.
Yeah. I mean, it's all over football. So, it is what it is, man. It's the new world. It's in a way, it's kind of Howie's background, too, where he came up in money and some of those other things, not as football, not personnel related. So look, that's what dominates the NFL anymore. I can sit here and complain about it, but Nick told you the answer today. So I don't even need to answer it. Nick told you. He justified the decision, not because he said that's what I felt in that moment to do because I wanted to get it to Saquon. He said the analytics told me I was right.
Right. Get this. So 3rd and 3, you went off the analytics chart and said, let's run this screen pass or this flare pass to Barkley here instead of doing the right thing and taking the element of the worst thing that can happen is stopping the clock away. That play was a play that they looked at because they plugged it into a computer instead of going, here's the right thing to do. Take the element of the disaster out. If he drops the ball, fumbles the ball. There was a rule in New England. Get this, Zander. There was a rule in New England that no running back, if you got close to the line of scrimmage, was allowed to do this. Put the ball across because Belichick didn't want the element of a fumble. No matter even if you were going to heels, there's no reaching for the end zone. We don't want any of those mistakes to possibly happen down there in the most critical part of the game and critical part of the field. When you could probably just do that. It was a rule. You were fined. You know what he was doing? He was taking the element of disaster out.
Yeah.
He felt the next play would give us the best opportunity by just running it in, having more of an opportunity to. So again, I just you're asking the owner's kid what we should do here and circumstances in the game and situations in the game. It's not situational play calling. All right, I got 2 more for you here, and this one here. Explain to me how 3 days ago the Eagles were favored by 6.5, and now they're underdogs by 2.5.
No, I think they're favored by 2.5.
They're favored by so
still,
it dropped.
I mean, when you're home, you get 4 points. So it's about a push game. And to be honest, I'm surprised with that. I mean, you're talking about a team that just throttled Dallas in Dallas that has a great pass rush, a lot better of a pass rush than we do. And they put up 44 points on the board. And you're telling me we're a push team with the Saints right now? I don't see it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I do not see it. I think that's a favorable line for anybody that's a bet. I'm not a betting man at all. I do not sports bet, so don't take my word for it. Go to betus.com and bet with them. I would take the Saints if I was betting on this game at that line. I do not see how it's Eagles minus 2.5 here. I don't see it. We're in New Orleans. Many say it's the hardest place to play in the NFL.
Absolutely.
They're red hot. and everybody loves to shit on Derek Carr. Yeah, Derek Carr has his problems, but when he's hot, he can dice a defense. So also, I forget. Somebody made this comment on the show earlier, and I meant to go look. Someone commented, "Tell me what happened last time Derek Carr played the Eagles."
He had like 85% completion percentage against them.
Yeah, he was 31 of 34 for 325 yards. Yeah, that wasn't great.
Wasn't that in
and the Raiders beat the Eagles 33-22. So that was the last time we played Derek Carr. So forgive me if I'm not ready to just write off this team because Derek Carr is their quarterback. I think he's a fine quarterback. So yeah, I mean, with this defense, shit, man, I do not like the setup for us going into this game at all. In New Orleans too, by the way. And you're coming off a short week. We had the Monday night game.
Just throw this for context of what you're saying. So I wouldn't say that the Saints had a superstar year a year ago, but they did go 9-8. He started all 17 games. Do you think a guy that had 69% completion percentage threw for 38-78? I think that's more yards than what Hurts had.
Same, yeah.
Okay. He had 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. And he had a quarterback rating of 97.7. You think that's an awful year?
No, I don't think Derek Carr is awful. I think he needs a lot around him to be well.
Yep, I do too.
I don't think he's elite, but you could say Jalen Hurts isn't elite the way he's playing right now, right? Needs a lot around him too. So I like the matchup for the Saints this week. I guess it tells you where I am with my 14-win prediction, right? If I think the Saints might win this game.
I can't wait to hear Merrill at 5:30.
Well, Merrill works for the team.
I know.
For 48 years. I love Merrill Reese. He's one of my favorite humans on planet Earth. You talk to Merrill outside of the public vicinity. He's the nicest guy in the world. So
absolutely.
I'm not going to say anything bad about Merrill Reese, but you know what you're going to hear from him. He's going to.
Okay. Hey, now wait a minute here. Who do you think is going to be more depressed at the bottom of the hour? Philly 500 or Mark Holmes? I'd rather be the Eagles. I'd rather be the Eagles in that situation because, you laid an egg at the end of the game. The Cowboys got annihilated.
Yeah.
I mean, from the coin flip, they were murdered. The Eagles weren't murdered.
Yeah, but doesn't that look more like a fluke for Dallas?
No. You can't get run over like that for 60 minutes, dude. I mean, the only here.
Yeah, I know, but that's one of those things.
Here's the only thing that was close in the game.
No, I hear you. I don't know. I would feel pretty neutral about Eagles Dallas. Right now. I would feel pretty. I feel pretty shitty as an Eagles fan.
You see that, folks, right there? That's
I don't like.
He don't care about anything.
That's my problem right now with this Eagles team. I don't see the fix. Like, for as hard as I've been on Jalen, I think he can be better. I think he can stop turning the ball over and clean that up. I don't see the fix right now for the run defense. I don't see the fix right now for the pass rush. Alfredo, hilarious. I had to star this comment to bring it up later. He goes, Zander was completely wrong about a no-holes defense, and the Great Wall of Philly has turned into the Great Depression of Philadelphia. Oh, man.
Holy shit. Are you saying that?
So thank you to everybody, by the way. I had a couple members sending me great T-shirt designs. I'm doing some things now to get some of those designs made. I think it was Forrest. I hope you're in here.
Wait a minute. Are you saying
so
Alfredo,
Forrest made me a shirt. I'm going to show everybody.
Wait, are you saying, Alfredo, that it's the soup kitchen defense?
It is not the no-hole. I can confirm to everybody this is not a no-holes defense. So
it's
forgive me.
Defense.
Forgive me for that one. This is not a no-holes defense. But this is the shirt that my man Forrest made for me. And the no-holes defense, you can see it. Forrest, we are canceling production of the no-holes T-shirt. We are canceling production. We are going to remove the X and make it the holes defense.
No, you should put cheese in there.
Yeah, Swiss cheese. A block of Swiss cheese. Easy edit to the design. We will make it the Swiss cheese.
Swiss cheese defense.
Yeah, but that's my worry. Like as an Eagle fan compared to where Dallas was, Dallas. I don't feel as shitty if I was a Dallas fan though. I don't know why. Maybe that's just because I'm right now I'm down on my birds, but I don't see the fix. Like, you're not going to win. You're not going to beat significant teams in the NFL if you can't stop the run, and you can't rush the passer.
Yeah.
Bryce Huff.
Or defend the pass.
Dude, we talk about the you talk about the all 22. Oh my God. Bryce Huff on the all 20. It's bad.
Oh,
it's bad. Like Philly 500. I see Mark Holmes is in the chat. What's up, Mark? Philly 500. We can't be chirping Mozzie Smith right now. We truly cannot, because Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, Bryce Huff, these are all Jalen Carter. These are no-shows right now in the city of Philadelphia. That's 3 first-round draft picks on your defensive line. 3, plus a $17 million acquisition in the offseason. They look awful.
This is going to be a battle royale at the bottom of the hour here. Dallas against the Saints reminds me of the Bills game from last year. If you run it down their throat and out tough Dallas, they fold. Yeah, I only threw 15 passes.
That's problem. You can't, run against them.
All right, where are we on the like list, Zander? I want to take a time out because this ought to be an interesting conversation at the bottom of the hour. I can give you a little heads up. Philly 500 is a little depressed on what he saw.
Is he? I haven't caught any of Philly.
Hey, and he said this to me as well. He goes, "Hey, you may be right about Jordan Davis." Okay, so and I go, dude,
maybe right. Philly, Philly, I love you, brother. Hey, Philly, this is year 3, man. This is look. The excuses are up for Jordan Davis. Look, year 3. Come on, man. Your 13th overall draft pick, Big Shills. The excuses are over for Jordan Davis. He's been brutal, and Jalen. Say what you want about PFF ratings and all those things. You might not like him, whatever, but Jalen Carter has been awful, awful. Did you hear that number that John gave this morning? I don't know exactly what it was. It was like 140 something rated defensive tackles in the NFL so far. You know what Jalen Carter was rated?
What?
Like 135th.
Oh my God.
He was a bottom 10. Now, granted, it's PFF, so you might not care for it or whatever, but that's pretty effing brutal, dude.
Well, that ranking matches up to 6.5 yards a game that they're giving up on the run. So.
Yeah. Now, Jordan Davis was a little bit better, so, say whatever. But
I don't see any leaders on this team. Slay is your captain. You can't take a defense serious. Hey,
Brian Pumper has joined me in Negadelphia land, where we are just not feeling good about our Eagles.
Negadelphia. You know what I love about what I see with true Eagle fans? Boy, I'll tell you what, man. That team's getting beat up the last couple days by the fans. They ain't getting beat up by the media, but
so they should be, because it's what I said at the open. All jokes aside.
Yeah, you're right.
We pay for this football team.
Yes.
Tickets are up, jerseys are up, parking's up, everything's up. For us to dedicate time, money, and everything that we work for in life, right? To be a fan of this football team, and they shove it down our throat and say, "Oh no, don't ask questions." And then the PR department has all the beat reporters so scared to lose their key fob that they won't even speak. The reporters they don't even talk about the Eagles like they should be. And by the way, I can't really blame them. These are guys that are trying to put food on the table for their families. You have a PR staff inside the Eagles organization. If you say one bad thing about this organization, they will cut you off. That's how this PR department works. As a fan of the team, you should be pissed off at that. You can't get the truth on your football team, which, by the way, truth requires them and holds them accountable to put a better product on the field for us to pay for and support. But they have everybody so far scared to report the truth that we can't even get objective analysis on our team anymore.
Joe Krause, I'm very sorry what I've done to your son. I mean, because, dude, yes.
Wait, forget that.
Yes.
Forget that.
No.
My phone is the one that rings, with the PR staff crying about Dan Sileo and all that bullshit. I'm the one who deals with when John says, I got to do certain things a certain way, or else I'm not going to be allowed in the room anymore. As a fan of the team, that sucks to hear.
It does.
Because now we're being spoon-fed bullshit. And the minute you say one thing, and you see it in the chat, if you say one bad thing about this team,
listen to this,
everybody mistakes it for hating. I'm not hating. I want greatness for the team.
Hey,
why do you not?
Hey, listen to
right?
this.
But nobody's used to it anymore.
You see what he's saying? The Eagles threaten JAKIB and not just JAKIB.
Oh, they threaten JAKIB often.
Hey, not just JAKIB though. They threaten them all.
Yeah, they threaten our the people that work for JAKIB.
You know what I say? Fuck you. Okay, but
Zander and them
have to eat it.
Fuck them.
They're the owners. Hey, I'm just saying, guys. If they're doing it to us, they're doing it to everyone else. Remember
they're doing it. Remember, we're on a platform that's different in terms of them being able to regulate it. You know, that's why they hate the National Football Show. When Sills says that, I know everybody thinks Big Sills just, has a big mouth and he's bombastic because he is. But when Sills says they hate this show, they hate this fucking show. I can promise you they hate this show. And the more that I watch the team and realize that Sills isn't hating on the Eagles, he's calling it objectively. He told me this defense is not a championship defense. Everybody in the chat, that's an Eagles fan. Does this defense look like a defense that can win a championship to you? The Eagles don't want you to hear that. They don't want you to think that. All they want you to think is we're the Georgia or the Philadelphia Bull Eagles and all this bullshit. The defense sucks. Every Georgia guy we've drafted has done nothing. Jalen Carter included. We should want the truth, man, because the truth will get us to a better team and ultimately will get us closer to our goal of winning more Super Bowls.
Fantastic rant. Zander, let's get to those two after this one here. This super chats here. Do you think Hurts doesn't want to give the ball to Barkley on those RPOs that are O-line creating holes? Swansky, no. I think he's got complete confidence in Saquon Barkley. I think he's got confidence in Barkley, Covey, and Devontae. The rest of them, I don't think he does. Let's get to the other one, Zander.
Well, I do think Shonsky brings up a good point. We talk about those penalties. I think some of it does have to do with the offensive line doesn't know where Jalen's going with some of them because it's taken him, I think.
Yeah, well, you don't know where he is in the RPOs, and that's
why it's taking him a second too long to make the decision. You got to be quick with it, or else you're going to get yourself in danger in terms of the penalties. Bearded Willie says Huff was getting in the way of our own pursuit.
He was.
I don't know if anybody is an NFL Plus subscriber. It's like $10. I forget what it is, but I pay for it because I love to go on and watch the all 22 just for 10 minutes and watch a couple snaps on defense of Bryce Hall. It is bad, everybody.
Hey,
it's bad. It will put you in a bad mood for the rest of your night. So maybe don't go and take my advice and don't go and watch it unless you want to revel in your misery like me and continue to watch this game and just be like, oh God, this is brutal. But yeah, look, this is why I'm concerned. I mean, you talk about the Eagles versus Cowboys and all those things. I'm more concerned about the Eagles right now than I am about the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys could win the NFC East this year.
No way.
I really do.
No. Let's get to these super chats. I want to take a time out.
I think we got them all. Oh no, we got one more.
Just one here.
Got one more.
Okay. The Eagles PR does that. And people think the coaches for strength of powers. The coach to CPAs, analytics, and what the front office wants. Absolutely the truth, man. We've been telling you that. No one wanted to hear it because we were the only one. No, you know who else was? Angelo, and then I took the baton. That's why he passed it to me, because I was the only guy.
Angelo was electric yesterday.
Hey, let me just say this to you too, folks. He texts me and he goes, "You're the only one that will tell the truth, man. I used to do this all the time." In my ceremonial send-off, my final week in Philadelphia after 40 years on the air, they would put Nick on. And they wanted to send a message to everybody like that was a big deal. Why do you think he goes knee-deep on Nick? He wants Nick's ass. And I told him that too. But, hey, Zander, listen. Our viewers, our people like Pharrell here and everybody who donate and come here every day.
They're the reason we're on the air.
By the way, what I love about him,
people read headlines. People, love to.
And what I love about him,
JAKIB, we're funded by the people, not by the organization, not by some suit in New York City that invested in our company like other ones on YouTube are. We're self-funded. We are supported by ourselves, by the people who are in our chat, and by a couple loyal sponsors that we have that we're very transparent about, that don't tell us what to say on the air. I believe we're the last real outlet left that gives you complete unbiased truth or unbiased thoughts. Whether you like them or like them or don't like them is fine, right? You're going to disagree. We're talking football.
But it's the only place you get a chance.
How many times do you have a football conversation with somebody and agree with everything they say? Right?
But wait a minute. But it's the only place that you can go where you can disagree.
Let me just get one thing straight, though, on the record, all right? YouTube says, Zander, don't let the game ruin your takes. The Cowboys aren't winning shit. You're right. Fuck the Cowboys. They're not winning the NFC. I take that shit back. Fuck the Cowboys. They're not winning shit in the NFC East this year. Birds are going to get it, but, man, they better clean some shit up if they want to get there.
Xander, tell us how many likes we have, my friend.
I don't know where we're at. Let me check.
Hey, don't forget Mark Holmes, Cowboy Honk, and the great Philly 500.
215 likes, baby.
Very good. Guys, let's see if we can get up to 400 again by the end of the program like we did. I'll probably be deducted this week, folks, because I just got a message from Big Joe saying, whoa, 600. Let's go here. 600 here. So
where did that come from? Big Still Show, everybody has been crushing it. So thanks all you guys. You know, for making the channel working, everybody.
Absolutely.
It's been a really great week on JAKIB. So thanks all you guys. We can't do it without you. I say it to Sills all the time. Sills, you're a great broadcaster, but you could be broadcasting to fucking nobody.
Absolutely, man.
Oh, also, what do we got? We got one thing left to do, Big Sills.
What's that? Oh, are you going to modify your 14-3 record?
So the first 2 weeks of the season has been tough to watch. I thought even the win in Sao Paulo, Brazil, wasn't our best football. I kind of chalked it up to week one. After week two, I got to be honest with myself. This team is not winning 14 games, guys. They're not. I think I'm going to go one above Big Sills, and I think I got this team right around 10 wins. That's where I think they're ultimately going to end up, is 10 wins, somewhere in that range.
Still may win the East with that.
Yeah, I don't know. We should win the East. I mean, I think the Commanders, I think we're much better than them. So I'm going to give us 2 wins there. They always play us tight. I'm going to give us 2 wins versus the Giants. Yep. That's 5 right there.
Yep.
You know, you have the Panthers. That's 6.
Yep.
You know, and then
that Steelers game looks a little different now.
You know, there's a couple more wins in there I think you can squeak out. But this team is not as good as they have made you think, you know, coming into this year. They got a stacked offense, but you see it. A.J. Brown's out for 1 week, and we've scored 21 points versus the Falcons, and everybody wants to blame the effing defense. It's like it's crazy the amount of, you know, just lying we're doing to ourselves as fans. like, you know, and I'm a victim of it too. No holes. Come on, Zander. No holes. No holes. How about unlimited holes? How about no fillings? There's no defense.
Swiss cheese.
Yeah, Swiss cheese, dude. All over the place. So gotta be real with themselves. I think it's 10-7, Big Sills. Hopefully that's enough to get us into the playoffs and give us a shot.
Sills, the 49ers was looking for additional help on defense in the offseason with Bosa, Hargrave, Ufanga, Greenlaw, and Warner. What the fuck is Howie doing? Howie was stacking up the offense and not doing anything on defense. That's exactly what he's done. I got to take a timeout before he get those 2 lunatics on.
I can't wait for these 2 lunatics. They're going to gas me up, and he's going to get me back and feeling like this team's going to be a winner.
Both these guys are going to come in, I think, with tissues. So we should see what happens here. This is going to be the battle royale. Philly 500. He's got to eat a little bit of that Jordan Davis crow. And I told Mark Holmes last week, your boys were going to get killed. And they got murdered. So I'm not going to go light on both these guys, okay? Xander will catch you tomorrow morning, Birds 365, and tell John, I have that way of working on people.
If anybody missed that, go watch that. John told me I've been Sileo-ized this morning on Birds 365 in a debate about Nick Sirianni. I digress. Appreciate it, Sills. Thank you.
You got it, brother.
You guys are the best. Catch you later.
You got it. Please hit the like button. Mark Holmes and Philly 500 around the corner. Don't forget the legendary Mel Reese at 5:30. Hit that like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.